Hi, I'm John, and welcome back to Dice Paper Miniatures. In this episode, I kick off a new series I'm working on that's featuring each of the 18 legions that players can play in the upcoming Warhammer the Horus Heresy. Now, the framework I'm using for this series is basically looking at what the Warhammer community is presenting in each of these 18 articles. The lore, the general look and feel of the legion, and of course, its rule mechanics that they're willing to tease at this point. And then maybe down the road, I might have a follow-up as to how accurate I think that these articles presented each of the individual legions. But that would be a series for another time. All right, so again, that's the premises or framework for this series. I'm really excited to get started. And in this episode, there be dragons. That's right, it's the Salamanders. A very cool looking legion as well, with an equally cool Primarch. And with that said, let's begin. All right, so here we are with the Salamanders, and frankly, everything about this Legion I think is pretty rad. I've always liked the look of their models in 40k. I love their lore. They're just a kick-ass looking Legion. I feel like if you're just getting into Horus Heresy, honestly, you probably can't go wrong with this particular Legion. Is it top tier for competitive play? Maybe, but probably not. But is it just a consistent, easy to kind of follow rule set? I think so, like definitely. Let's check it out. So to start things off, we'll go into a little bit of their lore introductions. Kind of provides a little bit of a foundation of what to expect with the specific legion for sure. So just because you're an 8-foot tall killing machine clad in inch-thick armor doesn't mean you have to be rude, and nobody takes this to heart like the Salamanders do. By the example of their Primarch, they form a rock-solid wall in defense of the galaxy's less fortunate, and excel at the 1 feat their legionary cousins struggle with, treating non-Astartes like equals. What a bunch of swell fellas. While less accomplished legions resort to filthy hellfire, what's wrong with that? Come on. The Salamanders bathe in purifying flames. All right, that's pretty cool too. In the true spirit of self-sacrifice, the Salamanders have politely waited for the other legions to have their turn. But the most notable and worthy of all Space Marines are finally getting the recognition they deserve in our ongoing and even-handed look at the fighting forces of the Horus Heresy. So yeah, the Legion, this is a shot of the Primarch Vulcan. This model, this image is really awesome, but the model's also very cool. We'll see that here in a little bit. Yeah, super cool art. Okay, so precious little is known of the 18th Legion's origins, for the Emperor was oddly secretive about their formation, even for him. What we do know is that the Legion's warriors were near suicidally brave, resistant to heat and radiation, and possessed a vengeful temper, traits which made them the Great Crusade's Legion of choice when faced with impossible odds. Right on. Massive space hulks swarming with orcs just dropped out of the warp? Call the 18th. Insane AI massing a subterranean robot army? Send in the 18th. Need someone to hold the line against alien horrors while you evacuate? Sounds like a job for the 18th. Sure, their first major engagement ended with 95% casualties, but that just meant more medals for the surviving 5%. Oh, rough. Yeah, that happens early on in the Horus Heresy, actually. To quote an ancient Terran proverb, no wipe, no worries. That almost sounds like more of a Death Guard proverb than just specifically for Terran. Gross, but funny. Okay, as the Emperor's children could tell you, glorious sacrifice isn't a long-term survival strategy. And while the kudos they earned allowed these so-called dragon warriors to rapidly restock after each nail-biting victory, they soon found themselves deployed piecemeal across the galaxy, settling into an illustrious career of repeatedly being almost wiped out. Yowzers. I knew they had a few close calls, but I didn't realize that was a continued event. Yeah, so here is Vulcan, the Forge World Primarch, and yeah, just a sweet model. Definitely, I think, one of the better ones from Forge World. Fortunately, around the time of their latest bout with extinction, their Primarch finally took up the mantle of his legion. Vulcan hammered the philosophy of the Promethean cult into his newfound sons, emphasizing patience, self-knowledge, and soothing arts and crafts workshops to reforge their die-hard tendencies from a weakness to a strength. The newly renamed Salamanders also picked up the Nocturnian love of fire and ran with it. Their artisans worked in fiery forges to create masterwork weapons on the regular, potent flamers among them, earning the 18th a reputation for self-sufficiency, close-range firepower, and big green barbecues. Oh yeah. I tend to prefer the more darker, I guess maybe emerald green color scheme, but if you go the brighter route, that still looks cool too. All right, so here we are with the rules, or at least the rules teaser. There's more rules. Lots of rules. All right. The Salamander's home is volcanic death world, eternally locked in a cycle of tidal upheavals that cause fire to literally rain from the sky. Wow. Not exactly a prime holiday destination. You need more than sun cream. You need more than sun cream to survive on Nocturne, and the 18th, not 17th Legion's gene seed only intensifies this blood of fire, giving each salamander a preternatural resistance to flames and microwaves and superheated plasma and Martian death rays. Wow, sounds like a great package deal. Sorry, Sanguinius, your dinky Inferno pistols are nothing compared to the Nocturnian sunburn. Oof, shots fired. All right, so Blood of Fire. When rolling to wound against a model with this special rule, for any attack inflicted by a flame, melta, plasma, or volkite weapon or effect, reduce the result of that roll to wound by -1. This does not affect the strength of the attack, only the result of the roll to wound. Seems pretty straightforward. In addition, all models with this special rule that have more than one wound or hull point gain the It Will Not Die 6+ special rule. I mean, this is just such a very straightforward but consistent and I think just really solid rule set for this particular Legion. I think this is a great ability. Not necessarily anything, fancy or flashy, but just solid. So it goes on. Just imagine the look on a trader's face when a point-blank blast from a meltagun only makes his target angrier. Unluckily for anyone trying to duck behind a barricade, the 18th Legion also gives as good as they get. Their fine craftsmanship infuses even their basic flamers with a deadly dragon's breath. If you can't stand the heat, stay out of the template range. For sure. All right, so the dragon's breath is when attacking using the Wall of Death special rule, a weapon with this special rule inflicts D6 hits instead of D3. So that's what the keyword is for Dragon's Breath. That's awesome. So it's basically double damage. So we have the Dragon's Breath pistol. So it's a template, strength 4, armor piercing 4, type pistol 1, Dragon's Breath. Yep, Dragon's Breath flamer, template, 5 strength, 4 AP, type assault 1, again, Dragon's Breath. There's a trend here, of course. Dragon's Breath heavy flamer, template, strength 6, AP 4, type assault 1, and Dragon's Breath. And then we have the Dragon's Breath cannon, template, strength 7, AP 4, heavy one, torrent 18 inches, nice, and Dragon's Breath. Super cool. Again, just a really solid special ability. Like, who doesn't want to just do more damage with their template weapons? Kind of a no-brainer. And then here we have the Primarch again, just a different angle, but still that Forge World resin sculpt. So Vulcan, Primarch, Homeworld, Nocturne, just very cool. While some Primarchs are raised by mighty chieftains and cruel overlords, or left to fend for themselves against ferocious beasts and bloodthirsty gladiators, Vulcan was found by a humble blacksmith with an honest heart. Aww. The boy soon astounded his village with his size, strength, and skill at the forge, becoming a beloved folk hero who hunted mighty fire-spitting lizards and turned aside blades on his granite skin. These prosperous days came to a close thanks to the party-crashing Drukhari, who considered Nocturne a perfect summer vacation spot for doing what they do best, making everyone's lives thoroughly miserable. Those bastards. The next time a raid flew in to nab some captives, the Primarch grabbed one of his blacksmith hammers and proceeded to forge the foul Xenos raiders into a new set of paving slabs for his village. That is baller. That is pretty cool. Oh man, and knowing the frickin' Drakari, they probably thought that, that was just a cool thing. They lived to be like some weird ornament. True story. The mere sight of a roaring giant with coal black skin and glowing red eyes smashing their armies to pieces was enough to send the raiders right back into their portals, which Vulcan dutifully set about dismantling. A great festival was held in his honor, predictably infiltrated by the galaxy's most party-hungry emperor. After the two tested each other in ritual contests, no doubt leaving one of them nostalgic for his trip to Fenris, the emperor revealed himself to his son. Unlike most of his brothers, Vulcan was reluctant to leave his home. He was a friendly local Primarch, after all. The Emperor persuaded him that there was a whole galaxy of people in need of rescuing from vile aliens and an excess of independent government. Ouch. Vulcan agreed and shared his appreciation for humanity with his new legion, even organizing them to live as part of Nocturne's 7 great cities. It's no surprise that they quickly gained a reputation as really nice guys to be around, as they're bathing you in flames, purifying flames. So, it's okay. It's not hellfire, it's purifying fire. Holy shit. All right. If you're hoping that being well liked by almost all the Legiones Astartes would spare the Salamanders from the heresy's violence, we have some bad news. Vulcan's dedication to the mere mortals that Horus was destined to rule, not to mention the glorious record of his legion, meant he was near the top of the traitors' hit list. He never even had the chance to give his brother the giant hammer he forged for him as a congratulations on making War Master present. Well, that's definitely not being very grateful, Horus. Not very cricket of you, for sure. Caught between the turncoat Iron Warriors and frenzied World Eaters on Isstvan V, the 18th Legion put up such incredible resistance that Perturabo had to break out his biggest guns. It turns out even a Salamander's asbestos skin can't withstand a sustained nuclear barrage. While a few survived to team up with the almost as tough Iron Hands, most of the Legion died in the irradiated inferno of the drop site, including Vulcan himself. It's okay though, he got better. Yeah, I was going to say, I think the reports of his demise were greatly exaggerated. Let's put it that way. And this is why. It turns out Vulcan's a perpetual. Immortal beings who can regenerate from as little as a rad scorched smear. Wow, that's even better than Wolverine's ability. All right. Distraught by the ashes of his significantly less unkillable sons scattered around him, the Lord of Drakes was easy pickings for the traitors' cleanup parties and ended up locked up aboard the Night Lord's flagship. That probably didn't go well. As you might expect, the ever-pessimistic Night Haunter had a bone to pick with Vulcan, specifically all the ones inside his body. Yet even Conrad Kurz could neither kill nor break his brother, and Vulcan soon escaped. It turns out that a hammer-shaped teleportation device also makes for a pretty good hammer. Vulcan warped all the way to Makraj, dying again while claiming Ultramar's highest skydiving record. Wow, okay. I don't recall that, but that's funny and pretty cool. And eventually managed to get his wits together, like literally his brains, I guess, reforming. Enough at least to set his course for Terra. That's gross too, but also pretty cool. All right. There in the depths of the Imperial Palace, Vulcan faced down another Primarch who survived an inferno. All right, so for additional lore, relive the epic tale of Vulcan's escape from the Night Lord's clutches in Vulcan Lives, keeping pace with the Primarch's agonizing trials, while a ragtag band of Isstvan V survivors do everything they can to keep an incredibly important man away from the word bearers. Though we're not sure Vulcan would appreciate the title, given how frequently he dies in this book. Oh, man. The story continues in Deathfire, where the Salamander's first captain, Numion, desperately tries to get his Genesire's body back to Nocturne for another resurrection. Yes, for reasons we won't reveal, Vulcan appears to be staying dead this time. Can belief in an old Nocturne legend reverse his fortunes? Spoiler, probably does. All right. If the fine craftsmanship, emerald armor, and hot rod flame decals of the Salamanders are calling to you, then yeah, they have a painting guide for you. Just a fun, cool looking army all the way around. Their lore is fun. The look of the Legion is cool. Yeah, the rule set that we get for this particular legion, I think it's not going to hurt your brain for sure. Like it's not overly complicated by no means. It's pretty straightforward. So it leaves you more time to, focus on tactics, right? And not have to worry about so much pre-game strategy. Your guys are tough. They like to burn shit, mix and repeat. Pick some units that, also look cool and have fun. Yeah, I think this is a really cool Legion, and I don't think you could go wrong with it. Again, I don't know if it's necessarily top tier from a competitive standpoint. And honestly, why are you doing this if it's not to have fun? Seriously, just saying. All right, well, as I've said before, I've done a number of these Legion rules and lore teaser videos over the last few days, and I'm about to wrap them up a little bit later than hoped for, but, life happens, and here we are. So like I said, though, there are other videos for the different legions, so if you liked this one, definitely consider checking out one of those other ones, or all of them. I've pretty much decided I'm probably landing on World Eaters for my primary faction, and if it turns out I can scrape up enough funds to put a second one together, either for a friend to play or just kind of have as like a palate cleanser, because, there's only so much blood for the blood god, skull for the skull thrones, charge, 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 chainsaw, chainsaw that you can do. I say that now, but it's probably not true. You could probably never get tired of doing that. But anyways, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to play for a secondary legion. And frankly, Salamanders could be on that list, although Iron Hands or Iron Warriors are definitely up there. And I kind of like the Raven Guard, even though I technically haven't featured them yet in a video. That's actually, spoiler, the next video I'm going to do. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now as far as where I feel personally I'm going with my Horus Heresy experience. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you're looking at playing for your Legion as well. I love to know the pros and cons as to why you're kind of going the direction you're going. And yeah, that's it for this one. As always, if you've enjoyed this content and haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. And if you do, definitely hit that notification bell button below, as well as sharing this content with your friends. It really does help with the growth of the channel, and I definitely appreciate it. Well, as always, I hope you're doing well. Be safe, take care, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.